So Greg, tell us about your role at Newcastle Football Club.
So at the moment, I'm just getting physio experience at St James's Park. I've been invited down by the main videographer to come film the games, like only the home matches. So basically what I do is I film the players coming in through like the tunnels, into the changing room, and that first clip is used for social media. So the fans can see all the players arriving and who's starting for the team that day. And then we do the warm-ups, so they do the training, just them warming up essentially, pretty self-explanatory. And then we do the main match cam, which is basically a unique angle of the game. Basically a match cam is a unique angle for the fans to see from like basically a fan view. So if you're not at the game, you can see what the atmosphere was like. So what I do is I sit by the advertising boards and film from that angle of going in from the players shooting. Normally get some quite interesting shots, and obviously shots that you don't see on Sky Sports or Match of the Day, usually. And then at the end of the game, we'll film the players arriving, coming back in, and if it's a big win, then obviously they'll all be celebrating, and it looks great for social media. They'll put that onto YouTube, and yeah, use that footage.
So what's been your favourite game to record since you started?
Obviously, I'm a fan of Newcastle myself, so there was some big wins. Like we beat Brentford 5-1, I think, and I think that was the main one, the first one I filmed. So that was great. But my most recently was the Man United game when Newcastle won 2-0. Reason for, I think it was the best footage I've caught. So when Joe Willock scored his first goal, he headed it in, and I managed to track Willock perfectly from the goal to the celebration where he came and do a knee slide right in front of me. So I think that's like the best footage I've personally caught anyway.
What's your dream job in the industry?
Before I started doing what I do at Newcastle now, I would have said documentary film, sports filmmaking. So like, you know, with the Amazon Prime All or Nothing with like Tottenham and Man City, I'd have loved to be like a cinematographer in one of those crews. But now that I've done the Newcastle job, I feel like I'm really enjoying that, and obviously it's my boyhood club, so getting to be in that environment every day and around the players is pretty amazing.
Who's your inspiration in the film industry?
Who's my inspiration? As not thinking of sports videography, but as a whole, as the film industry, since before I started uni, I would have said Edgar Wright, who does all the Cornetto trilogy, if you know, like Shaun of the Dead and that. Just the pacing of his editing really inspired me to get into filmmaking more. But as for sports videography, I would have... Well, the guy who invited me down to Newcastle was Tom Nipper, who's the main videographer for Newcastle. And obviously I've been watching the match cams before I even got this experience and this chance to do what I'm doing now. So I would say him, probably the easiest.
So what's your favourite movie of all time?
My favourite film? My favourite film is La Haine, black and white film, filmed in the 90s in France, Paris. I love just the cinematography by Pierre M. is definitely just hands down my favourite film.
Yep. Okay, so what's your favourite TV series, Greg?
Favourite TV series? I like sitcoms, so I would have to go for... Oh, what have I seen recently? I like Seinfeld. Seinfeld's pretty good. If we're going TV series like drama, probably Game of Thrones. Yeah.
What about your favourite YouTuber?
My favourite YouTuber? I don't know. I don't really have one. I don't really watch much YouTube.
Tell us a bit as well, because I know you have some experience in YouTube as well, recording for Dartmouth Spartans football team as well. So if you just tell us a bit more about what you did prior to working at Newcastle.
Yeah, so that is actually probably what inspired me to even ask about Newcastle and get that experience, was filming Sunday League football first. So obviously, well, you know, our friends set up a football team and wanted the highlights for the games. So I brought my camera along and started filming from the halfway line, getting some quite amateur stuff. And then, yeah, had to edit that every Sunday. That literally took up all my Sundays. So we'd film the game during the day, and then I would have to watch the whole 90 minutes again, and then edit it through just the goals. But no, I enjoyed it. It was a good thing to do.
Right, Right, so now we'll do some quick fire questions. So there'll be multiple choice. Some will be film related, some won't. So yeah, we'll start now.
Yes.
So the first one, Martin Scorsese or Steven Spielberg?
Martin Scorsese.
Well, why? What was your favourite Martin?
I like
Scorsese?
Goodfellas. That's one of my other favourite films.
Okay. Tom Hanks or Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt.
Okay. Forrest Gump.
I thought you just meant it's the character, not like the film. Go on.
Okay. Toy Story 3 or Shrek?
I think what I was doing.
That isn't even.
I'm gonna go
That's fine, that's fine.
Shrek.
I'm laughing.
It's got to be Shrek.
Shrek 1, 2, or
2. Shrek 2.
2. Okay. Right, so Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Who'd win the fight? A gorilla or a grizzly bear?
Grizzly bear.
Leeds or Manchester United?
Leeds.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Chocolate, crisps.
Chocolate.
So, what advice would you give to anyone trying to follow in your footsteps and start off in the industry?
Well, I don't know if I'm quite there yet to give advice. I've kind of just been asking people myself for advice. That is what I did. I literally messaged the videographer for Newcastle asking for advice in the industry and got lucky enough for him to invite me down to one game, which has turned into the full season now. So I would just say it is cliche, but it is who you know, and how you get that is by talking to people. As silly as it sounds, but that is the best way to do it.